Hello, in this video I explain you why I stopped completely with eating spinach. I know and you know that spinach, it has many good positive nutrients. For example, it has vitamin A, vitamin C, folate, it has a lot of potassium, and also spinach is well known for having a lot of non-heme iron. However, what most people do not realize is that the bioavailability of all these nutrients, the actual uptake of these nutrients in your cells, it is actually very low. So for example, calcium, spinach consists of a lot of calcium, but the actual uptake in your cells of eating calcium, whether you eat it raw or cooked, it's only like 5%, which is substantially lower than like getting the calcium out of your milk, drinking milk, which is like 30%. Or getting calcium out of broccoli, which is even higher. Most highest uptake of calcium comes from like fish bones, like sardines for example, fish soup. So why is this uptake so low of the nutrients from spinach and from all other plants? Because all plants, they have defense mechanisms. They call that so-called anti-nutrients. A plant does not like to be eaten. We all like to think that all the plants in the world, all the vegetables, they are made there for human beings or for animals to eat them, but plants are just like us, living species. They do not like to be eaten. So there's many defense mechanisms. Various plants like beans, for example, legumes or like grains, they use like lectins. There's also plants which use phytic acid, and the main defense mechanism of the spinach plant is called oxalates. And oxalates, so first of all it reduces the bioavailability, but much more serious, it's a serious toxin for your body. So oxalates, it's important for all the plants. Plants need it. For example, the key reason why plants need oxalate is to regulate calcium. Also, as I explained, to defend, protect against being eaten. Also it helps to chelate, to remove heavy metals. But for human beings, oxalates are very toxic, and it's not, and if you eat too much, if every day you eat too much, it really starts to build up in your body. So what I want to explain, if you are metabolically healthy, and remember only like 10% of us are really metabolically healthy. If you are metabolically healthy and you really love your spinach, and still you can take your spinach, but just do it, eat it like every other day, like half a cup of cooked spinach, and your body will be able to deal with that toxic, because it is still a toxin. Your body, your liver, your gut will still be able, just like drinking a little bit of alcohol, your body will be able to deal with it. But also you, even if you are metabolically healthy, if you overdo it, if every day you start to eat like 2 cups of spinach, or you start to drink like spinach smoothies, which is very popular these days, really you get an overload of oxalates in your gut, in your body, and your body cannot process that. Your kidneys are getting under a lot of stress, your liver gets under a lot of stress, and all these oxalates, they start to build up in your cells. About a metabolically healthy person, but most of us are metabolically unhealthy. So if you already suffer from example from like stomach issues, you have SIBO, you have leaky gut, you have candida for example, now really I strongly advise you to do exactly the same as I do, that is to completely stop with all spinach and all other food which contains high amounts of oxalates, like sweet potato for example, or almonds. Also, if you have, for example, kidney issues, kidney failure already, you have to stay away from the spinach and the oxalates. And very important, the last thing I want to say, if you have little children, little babies, infants, really you have to stay away, you have to keep them away from giving them spinach, especially if you have a child who recently got like antibiotics, because antibiotics, they're going to destroy all your gut bacteria. Now you get all the oxalates into your gut. There's no bacteria anymore to break these oxalates down, and all these oxalates are going to flow into your bloodstream, and you create a lot of problems. So why are oxalates so bad for us? Because oxalates, they are chemically a dianion. That means that it's a molecule which is double negatively charged, and thereby when it enters into your body in a free form, it is easy going to bind with all our important nutrients which are positively charged, such as potassium, but mainly with calcium and iron, which are double positively charged. So one key problem of oxalates is that it's really very quickly going to remove many of your important nutrients out of your body, so we get depleted of minerals. But a more serious problem is that when these oxalates, they bind with calcium, for example, it is going to create these crystal-like structures, these glass-like structures. It's like sandpaper kind of structures. It's tiny, minute, small atoms, very small, like nanocrystals. You cannot see them, but they are really rubbing against all the tissues in your body, and they're going to tear all the tissues. So when you get them in your stomach, for example, ideally you do not get so much of these oxalates in your stomach, and ideally you just flush them out, because ideally your stomach, they have still the good bacteria to break down all these oxalates. However, many of us, we are suffering from like leaky gut, from stomach issues. We do not have the good bacteria anymore, so we cannot break down, especially if you have this overload of oxalates. So now the real problem starts to tear off your inner lining of your gut. It starts to leak through the gut. Now it gets into your bloodstream. It starts to damage the inner lining of your bloodstream. It starts to get to your liver. Your liver does its best to break it down. Goes to your kidney. It starts to damage your kidney, and it starts to get everywhere. The more oxalates, the more spinach you eat, the more these oxalates start to build up in your body, really everywhere. It starts to build up in your heart muscles. It's going to tear it down. It's going to build in your ovaries, for example, your testes, your breast tissues, really everywhere. It's also tearing your important mitochondria, and that means it's also going to affect and damage your energy production in your cells. I am thankful that you watched until the end of this video. One more thing I want to say: spinach in Europe and in USA, when you buy it in the supermarkets, it is the most heavily sprayed with pesticides and toxins. So if you want to continue eating spinach, one thing you absolutely must do: you must buy organic spinach. You must grow it yourself, like here in this garden where they use the manure of the cow. That is important. Anyway, I'm thankful for watching. Please click on the like and please click on the subscribe button. Thank you. I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.